I think this is going to be a really difficult thing to explain. Why I don't think we have any options left. And let's give this a go. So let's say somebody moves from New South Wales to Queensland. Now, this person has had a metre of intestine removed and half their bowel removed with an incurable disease that prevents them from, say, doing a labour-based job, like say a bricklayer. It would cause too much distress on the body, okay, or an electrician, because they have to be very mobile, and things like that. Now, this person applies for at least a dozen jobs a day and never gets a call back, because every single time on job applications they say, do you have any conditions that we should know about? If you don't list you have a medical condition and you get in there and immediately you need assistance on something, or you just need something happens because of your condition, they're going to fire you immediately, saying you were dishonest. But at the same time, if you write it down, they will openly discriminate against you immediately, right? They just burn your application. How dare this person with an incurable disease apply for a job here? That's disgusting. That's the attitude of HR, because they've never lived it. They don't know what it feels like to be constantly rejected. Now, you might have 3 degrees, highly trained, highly experienced, highly skilled, 20 years foreign experience, things that other people just haven't experienced, especially bureaucrats, foreign affair bureaucrats, who sort of live these these protected lives, even if they're working for the Department of Foreign Affairs overseas. They have no idea what it's like on the ground because they never walk it. But now let's say this person is trying forever to get a job, but nothing ever works. And then they decide, well, I need to get welfare, I guess. God damn, I didn't want this. I wanted to work. I want to do something useful. But then they go to get disability. Now, they basically hand over all the medical surgery documentation to prove that their surgery is massive, right? That's a big deal, getting body organs removed. It's a big deal. Sometimes even when they're driving, they have to pull over because they can feel the pain, even 10 years after the surgery, right? So also another thing is they can't really make themselves healthier in Australia if they haven't already got a job, because only half the medication they require is available in the pharmaceutical benefit scheme, right? And they can't afford the other medication because it's not on the pharmaceutical benefit scheme, and it's very expensive, and but they're on welfare and they can't get the job, so they can actually get the medication, right? Even though doctors say, oh, this would be good for you, but you can't get it because it's not on PBS, it's going to cost you more than money you have. They openly say that. But it's a rare condition, so the government only takes care of the absolute majority. Unless you're an immigrant, then, red carpet treatment, especially if you're a bride, an ISIS bride, they love those women. But what you find is that you're constantly tired, lethargic, because you can't get the medication. And now, if you were of normal physical capacity, you wouldn't feel that way. But you can't get that medication, just to remember that. Now, you go to get disability and it gets rejected, and they can't tell you why. And you go, what else? I've given you the surgery documentation, which tells you the condition is a pretty big deal. And then they tell you, well, we'll review it in 13 weeks. Now, at the same time, you get rental assistance, but your rent price is double the amount of rental assistance. And you don't get enough from Centrelink to support the very minimum required just to stay alive. So you're burning through your savings. Now, at the same time, just remember this person has moved from New South Wales to the Gold Coast for a job which didn't work out because you immediately got sick. Now, this is where it gets really crazy. You have to pay for for a transfer of your car registration and your driver's license to Queensland, which costs all your savings. Now but also it means that when you're doing the math, you're not going to be able to eat. And there is now no way you can afford the medication that makes you better. Now, in saying that, the medication that makes you better actually stops the cancer from spreading. But you can't get the medication that stops the cancer from spreading. And you have no more money left. And you call Centrelink, is there anything what? Call the hospital, is there any way I can get it? No. What do I do? Work it out, people. This is the country we live in now. A person wants to get ahead, but because they have an incurable disease, the system will kill them.